Thank you so much for spending some time with us, and we can nerd out about music.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. So first off, so I read your Wikipedia, right? For JC Brooks. So your original name for your band was JC Brooks and the Underground Band?
No.
Under Sound?
And the Uptown Sound.
The Uptown Sound. Okay. Yeah, because I only know you now as JC Brooks, so like I had to like keep trying to remember that. But
Right
okay.
on.
Okay. So why did you guys change your name?
Well, a couple of the original members left, and they took the name with them. They kind of thought that what we were doing was a different thing than they wanted associated with the name. And Kev, our drummer, and I just didn't really want to fight, didn't want to make it stupid or ugly. So we said, all right, fine. And then we were trying to pick another and we had a bunch of ideas, but all of it just felt kind of dumb, and we kind of didn't want to fly. I didn't want us to fly under just like J.C. Brooks, like an Aaron Carter. Jesus, why is that my reference?
Oh, wow.
Like an artist who I'm sure tours with a band, but goes just by their name.
Like
Aaron
Ben Folds
Carter.
5, the Ben Folds Band or something.
I really should. Could we edit that to like a better, maybe like like Lauryn Hill.
But you know what though? Like the different songs and bands that we talk about and stuff, they're so varied. Like honestly, I'm sure some of our fans may like Aaron Carter. Like I'm not judging.
I'm sorry.
I'm not judging.
No, it's just not me. He's in my consciousness lately because I read that like he had to be rushed to the hospital or something. He's got some shit going on. So I'm like, oh man, it's just like it's a callback to my younger days, and I'm like, shit, he can't start dying now. Come on, that generation of musicians cannot start dying yet. Please, God, please.
My gosh, wow, that is something I don't want to think about. But yeah, we get the reference, we get it. I automatically thought of Ben Folds.
Yeah, it used to be the Ben Folds 5, but like, he actually had the capacity to tour as like a one-man show because he's so like amazing on the piano.
Dude, did you see like that video that went viral of him making up a song based on
Chat Roulette?
Was it Chat Roulette? I don't know. He was with a full orchestra and he made up a song for like I want to say 10 minutes. With this full orchestra, just like being, oh my gosh, like he was the conductor and he played his own stuff and like he was just giving everyone instructions and it was beautiful.
Was it with the Western Australia Symphony Orchestra?
I'm honestly not sure, but I'm gonna provide a link for the write-up. Anyway. Okay, all right.
Right on, nice.
It's really amazing. So yeah, you're totally right. He's got the chops for that. He can do that.
So yeah, I can't really do that, and I kind of lean heavily on the musicians that I work with, and they're also not really like interchangeable. So I wanted to acknowledge them, and we all decided that band sort of like Jesus, I'm sorry, Derek Truck's band or something like that,
Okay.
So that's kind of where we landed with it, and we've been going forward under that name since. It's created a little bit of confusion for fans of the Uptown Sound, but also, thank God for the internet because it's a lot easier to figure out now than it would have been when you had to, I don't know, hit a fucking card catalog and mess with the Dewey Decimal System and whatnot. So
yeah, right. Funny
I don't know
enough,
why I'm stuck in the past today.
oh no, like I really love that you mentioned that because I actually used to go to the library to listen to music. Like I was that girl. I took
Me
out
too.
CDs. Totally. I loved it.
Oh, I did too, because I was kind of broke as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, dude, I used to do that. And also, and then my library, because I'm from Jersey, and I was from like this like small suburb, like Washington Township. So like when our library got DVDs, it blew my mind.
Oh
I was like, oh my God, I can start watching movies for free now. Yay.
Oh my God, I love that you're a fellow library lover. Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Far out. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm
hell
actually. Oh no! I just cracked open my first like nonfiction book in a long time, and I'm well overdue for it. But yeah, I'm reading Between the World and Me, and it is by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and it is just
my gosh. He was at
Jesus,
New York Comic Con recently.
Wrecks you. Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, so much. I hope that he can sign my copy one day if I'm ever that special where I cross paths with him. That book will change your life as a parent, just as a person who's a caretaker of a young one. And man,
as someone who wants to be a parent like me, I was like, one day I do. And yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's always a lot more that goes into parenting than any first parent expects. But, it's just like, just having to think about all of that on top of, on top of all the regular first-time parent shit, like,
and then sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was done. I just trailed.
Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna trail like from your trail, and then like top that with like being a creative mind as well, right? And so like maybe choosing non-traditional ways of living because of your creative side.
Yeah.
So like just having all these different layers of awareness and bringing all that into play in this crazy world. So, and like having all of those layers take care of you and your loved ones. And that's a great book, y'all. So read that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting back to your origins, right? So like,
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. It's okay. No, this is exactly what I want. Like, okay, so full disclosure, this is the very first interview with MusicBae that we've done with a musician. And I love...
I know, I checked out your stuff.
Yeah, right? Like, we're pretty new.
I actually did the podcast, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Dude, like, we love music and we listen to all kinds of stuff. But funny enough, I'm not a musician. The other two are. But I love picking musicians' brains because the process is so lovely, the process of creating music and stuff, and it's so intimate. And that's why I want the interviews to be about the people and not the same old interview questions and stuff like that. So trail away, because fans, when we fan out, we want to know everything about the person we're fanning out about, because
sure.
It's just cool insider information. So that's what's up. So, yeah.
Then I'll give the most interesting answers possible.
Woohoo! Well, as long as they're authentic. Yeah. And you can curse, no
absolutely.
Worries.
Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think
Right on.
I am, they pass unnoticed oftentimes.
Yeah, right. Nah, you're safe here. Okay, so like on your Wikipedia page, it says that you were a theater talent. You were in Passing Strange. You're the head character, and you also did the music for it, right? Like you performed the music for it, and like
the Uptown Sound was the pit orchestra, functioned as the quote finger quotes orchestra for it. It was a musical that called for a live band. So
okay. And then you came across someone who who reached out on Craigslist saying that he wanted to make some kind of a like UN of a band and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
This whole thing came together as a result of our original guitarist, Bill, putting an ad on Craigslist looking to make a kind of a soul band that, it wasn't entirely clear, but he wanted it to feel like stacked soul and to make music that people didn't feel too cool to dance to. And that bit is kind of what drew me in and made me want to answer the ad. And myself, Bill, and Ben, our original bassist, met up at Bill's place like the week after, and we sat around and talked about music and what we love and whatnot, and then all went away to write some songs to bring into the next time we got together. And it just kind of built from there. I was really busy with theater stuff the first year we were together, so we didn't really get to play too many shows. I actually answered the ad because I had just finished tech for this musical that I was doing at the time, and I had free time, so I was looking for a way to fill it. And that musical it got extended a couple of times, and then I already had some work lined up for after that, and then that, so it just kept rolling through. So the next year we really got to start playing out in earnest.
Okay. But you saw an opportunity and you grabbed it. Oh, and yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever toured anywhere internationally?
Yeah. We've been a couple of places. We've
where?
been to Spain and France mostly. When we first started touring over there, it was mostly Spain because our distributor for the record that we had out was over there, based out of Madrid, and then we got to expand to France, and then lately we've been going back there the most. But we've been to Italy, we've been into the Netherlands. I don't know, just random. I should know, but I don't.
Oh gosh, well,
no, that's about it. We haven't crossed off too many countries. We haven't done like a round European tour.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, it all sounds amazing, and I'm sure you've met lots of great people along the way. Okay. Well, do you still go on Craigslist now?
No, I haven't been on Craigslist.
Yeah, me neither.
In a while. I mean, every
funny.
now and again I do. I guess when I'm looking for, I got a paper shredder from Craigslist like a year ago.
Cool.
And it was great. Yeah, it was cheap and shreds my bills, my envelopes. I was just like, it worked. It was $7, and and it chops up the paper into dust. So great.
Yay for recycling.
Yeah, it's seriously like my small appliance. Like, that's where I want to go. I occasionally flip through like the gig announcements just to see. I'm like, all right, what kind of events are going on? What's going on here now? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen anything crazy on Craigslist? And if you have, what's the craziest thing that you've ever seen?
Oh man!
If you want an example, I can tell you mine. But like, if you can think of something, yeah.
I've never seen anything that was like crazy. The like craziest stuff I see is just because, of course, in like the film, TV, actor, like the auditions section, it's all just people looking for porn actors. So, like different descriptions of like looking for models, must be really into feet, like, like stuff like that gets specific about like what fetish field you'll be working in. But
yep.
Yeah, that's the craziest I've seen. What about you?
Let's see. I've seen people sell bodily fluids. I used to go on Craigslist to look for friends and stuff because I'm such a music lover, but the kind of music that I like, pretty much all of my friends aren't really into, like electro and drum and bass and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh, wow, okay.
that's not all that I like, but I like a lot
Sure.
of specific things. And so I was looking for friends who were into that stuff. And like, I would come across personals ads and, people just being either rude or just cringy and creepy. And yeah, human sexuality is a really interesting thing. The human mind. Oh,
Yeah.
it always amazes me. I can't learn enough about it. and
I
it's all on
kind
Craigslist for anyone to see.
I kind of can't wait until they develop an AI that can parse all of this, because, that anonymity allows people to be way more honest than usual. Like every year, either Pornhub or PornMD publishes a list of like the most popular search terms around the world, and by country. In the U.S., they'll do it by state. And it's really, really funny.
It's
what
so
people
fascinating,
are actually
isn't it?
into, despite all their pieties or pretense and whatnot. It's, it's kind of crazy.
It's crazy, but it's fascinating too. I love all that stuff. Pornhub is really doing like that whole like data analysis and really well.
Yeah, they are. I actually appreciate it for entirely non-porny reasons also.
Yeah, me too.
I read Playboy for the articles and for the disgusting exploitation.
Oh, me too. Cool.
God. No, my grandfather used to collect Playboys, and like when I was a kid, I was very nonplussed by the body. So I used to always go to the there was always a page of dirty jokes, and I would always like read those and fuel up for school and just be like, all right, joke man is here. What do you want to hear?
Oh gosh, that's awesome. How old were you?
I used to bring the dirty jokes from Playboy directly to the minds of elementary schoolers, my fellow elementary schoolers.
Oh yeah. Funny story. My mother also had Playboys, but she had the issues with Vanessa Williams, so it was more of a collector's thing.
Oh,
but then I found them, and my 5-year-old self brought them to my room, put them under my bed, and I was just like looking at all these bodies. I'm like, oh, interesting. And then I would also read the jokes and stuff. Like over the years, I would find them so fascinating, and then just like men's stories, really funny stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So
sad men's stories.
So you see what kind of digressions are encouraged in these interviews, right? Like we're talking about Playboy, for God's sake. Nice. Although like Playboy has really put a lot of musicians on the map too. So
they
definitely have to acknowledge their impact in music history.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, thinking about the cultural impact of Playboy. I mean, since Hef died, and I don't know. Like everything, it's complex. Next thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
It's okay. And yes, it is complex. It is very complex. Human beings are very complex. So you just gotta take us or leave us. I don't know. Okay, so you as a person, right? Solo, in theater, with the J.C. Brooks Band, what was the most intimate setting you've ever performed in?
Solo, it can be any performance I've done.
Any performance.
Gosh, oh man, that's a tough one, only because there are so many different like intimates or so many different kinds of intimate, like something that made me uncomfortable to share. I've done like storytelling events, like Live Lit, and I've also done like shows like Hair and Kama Sutra, the musical, where I was just on stage naked.
I love Hair. I love Hair so much.
Chunks of time. So, that was like the first musical that I did when I came to Chicago, and it made me my first group of friends, like that tribe was my first real group of friends here.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. I mean, you know, I like made friends at work and whatnot, but like that was my first like family bond. It was kind of crazy.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I'm okay with different definitions of whatever whatever comes up. Like that's okay, because whatever it means to you, that's what matters.
Well, there's that kind of intimate, but I also thought of like when I was I did this like Christmas concert, small theater, like maybe around like 80, 90 people, and it was me and a whole bunch of other singers, and we each got to do a song, and I did "Oh Holy Night," and it was I told a story about my grandfather because you know everybody had to go up and tell a story, and that was like I didn't mind sharing it, but it was also like hella personal, and it kind of made me really emotional and whatnot. So you know, there's that kind of thing where it doesn't make me uncomfortable, but it is still like very raw. Oh God, I had one of those at about a month or two ago. I did this thing with Chirp called their First Time series, and it was first time, first test, and I told the story about when I lost basically the best day of my life and the worst day of my life were like 2 consecutive days, and I told this story, and it's basically I won 15 grand one day, or my dog died one day, and then I won 15 grand the next day.
Oh
and
gosh.
Yeah, and it was just the shittiest trade in the world. And you know, there was a whole story to it, but you know, that one that kind of I started going, and then other people were like, "Ah, God, why did you have to bring up dead pets?"
Oh no!
And so it kind of, you know, there's that kind of intimate where not only are you being raw, but it's opening up like other people, and they're sharing in that rawness with you, and it kind of goes beyond just, you know, performing in a small setting or something like that. So I'm sorry, that's when you asked intimate, like my brain just, like I was like, oh God, which kind of intimate? And then this, and then so.
Oh yes, very much. I thank you for sharing all of them, because yeah, they all matter. That's pretty damn intimate. And I mean, that's one of the things that you strive for in your music. On your website, it's mentioned a lot about how you are really, really good at, and you really strive for connecting with your audience, connecting with fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through your music and through your lyrics, through your singing. I wonder, have you ever dealt with any kind of stage fright or shyness? Has your willingness to share yourself ever been hindered for any reason?
Yeah, I have. And every now and again, I still get it. Like, I don't really get it when I'm performing with the band, but whenever I'm doing something new, something untested, there's always that, like, nauseating amount of, I don't know, I literally tend to get nauseous. But, you know, there's also, like, yeah, I don't know. Yes, I have. And in some cases, I still do deal with stage fright.
Wow. What kind of things do you do to take care of yourself in those moments, especially when you're about to go on stage?
I just outthink myself. You know, I make myself breathe, and I ask myself why I'm doing this to myself, and, you know, tell myself to stop it, because I know, you know, this isn't the dream where you wake up naked in the classroom and it's a pop quiz, you know, like you know the song, or you know whatever you're about to go out there and do, and, you know, stop psyching yourself out. So I don't know. I think of it as outthinking myself, but I don't know. It's just this, I'm unpsyching myself out. I should come up with some better terminology for it, but that's kind of what I have to do to calm myself down, because it's not a life or death situation. And I know what those feel like, and it's also not, the worst. It probably, most likely won't be my worst stage experience, because, I've had some doozies. So,
and you have a lot more stage experiences to go, so you might as well just accept it all now.
And accept that shit happens, and that's life on stage and off stage. It's a little more embarrassing on stage, but also, I mean, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep it trucking.
Sure.
So,
well, what kind of audience? Okay, so I'm gonna give you like a kind of a trick question, right? So, would you rather perform for an audience full of music critics or an audience full of teenagers, and why?
Good question. The implication being that teenagers are mean pieces of shit.
Yes, they are. No, they totally are. Yes.
Oh, no. I know. Yep. Kids are awful.
They're awful.
That's tough, but I'd go with a room full of teenagers.
Wow. Why?
I can connect with them. Like I've done this thing out at Friend High School. It's a school out in the burbs here, for their Writers Week for a couple of years, and basically I go up there. I do some of my. I used to do, or I still sort of write, but I used to do performance poetry, so I do some of that. I do a song or two at the piano, and then I answer questions and just shoot the shit with them about a writing process, about life as a musician, about whatever. And it's usually like an auditorium of, I don't know, a couple hundred. Basically, I stay there for a couple of hours, and each period, like the auditorium turns over, and it's all the grade. There are kids from all the grades who have their, like, I don't know, study hall period or whatever the heck. But yeah, it's cool. So I think I could deal with a room full of teenagers. I could also handle a room full of music critics. I mean, after all, every room is a room full of music critics. It's just that you have the advantage of having most of them on your side when you start at a regular club show.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about yourself as a teenager? When I first heard your music, I was so struck by your voice. I first heard a couple of tracks of yours on Google Play Music on a blues station. And I said, oh my gosh, this man, his music is so, it's funky, but like I feel it in my spine. I feel the blues in it. And it's true. Your music is so soulful, and your voice is pretty amazing. It can go pretty high and pretty low and get pretty raspy. So,
thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I was wondering, like, how was your voice impacted from puberty?
I mean, I think my voice changed pretty normally. I think that a bad speaking habit, like into college, I had a nice, beautifully clear, I could still like do rasp sometimes, but like clear, dramatic tenor. And over the years, I sang in bands in high school too. And over the years, it's just kind of come down, but I try to keep stretching the higher bit. It's just that the falsetto is pretty easy to maintain, but the chest voice is the part that wants to move down, so I can't hit the higher notes at the top of my range. They are just bullhorn loud, and beyond that, it has to be falsetto.
Okay. And no, I love all of that. I think that's so rad.
But I think one of the things that made my voice strong is I speak, in my regular speaking voice, I speak very badly in that I don't place my voice in a good place. I speak very back in my mouth and down in my throat when this is the way I usually speak. And I should actually be speaking like this, and I speak very lazily, but I also think that stretched the right muscles and maybe, hardened the right whatever had to be down there for me to virtually abuse my voice and
you do
then
go
be
there.
able to do it again and again, night after night, because no half-assing,
That's right. You
Life's
do
too
go
short
there.
to half-ass.
Very much. Yep. Very cool. Okay. Wow. What an interesting, process or whatever that you've noticed about your vocal cords, huh?
We have to.
Or something.
It's one of the things that we had to study. I was a musical theater major, so one of the things that they made us take besides voice and speech was just anatomy. We actually had to do an entire unit on anatomy and whatnot. It was a pretty thorough program as far as the mechanics of the craft goes, which I kind of appreciated.
Oh, yes. I can see how all of that is relevant because it can involve your Kegel muscles. It can involve your diaphragm, obviously, and your vocal cords, obviously, but also the tightening of your chest muscles and maybe even the tightening of your asshole, to strengthen a note of some sort. So I don't know.
Definitely. No. It's all about that support. A lot of people have a lot more range than they let themselves have, but they get too tense and they don't know how to support properly. Mm-hmm. And a good vocal teacher can unlock that because the inroad is different for everyone. And once you find the right words, the right vocabulary that individual can understand, then it's a whole new fucking level, a whole new ball game. It's almost one of the things that we had to do my first year in the program is we had to take ballet 1 and ballet 2. And I had taken that dance class when I was 6 or 7. And I was also a much bigger guy. So it was not the easiest class for me, and I had balance issues. And our instructor kept telling me to think up, and you won't fall over. And she kept saying, think up, and think up just did not resonate with me at all. I couldn't get it. And then down the line, a couple of years, it was kind of explained to me that you literally have to kind of pretend that there is a giant hook underneath your sternum that is pulling your body upwards, so it affects your chest. Your shoulders go back and a little bit down. Your chest goes up. You arch your back a little bit, and all of a sudden, and then you just use your plexus muscles to actually slightly pull your body up, and then all of a sudden you can balance on one leg. You can balance on releve, and it's a hell of a lot easier. It's not entirely effortless, but it was a thing that I was just oh, holy shit, I faked my way through a bunch of dance classes at that point, but I was oh my God, this process just got so much easier for me because, just finding the right visual imagery, the right dialogue, the right whatever vocabulary to get that just changes the game for someone. And I'm still learning about the various aspects of stagecraft. So, I look forward to those evolutions, those running up and jumping up to a new plateau.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like visuals help with a lot of things, for sure. It's all in the mind. It really is. And I mean, I could see that impacting you because you're such a tall drink of water. And a lot of tall people that I know, poor things, they try to shorten themselves, right? They'll try and shrink themselves to fit in. Mm-hmm. And so that's hard to undo. And I don't know if that was your situation, but the more...
No, definitely was. That tall, and I was also bigger, and I used to try to like hide my chest by like, slouching a little bit forward. So it created some awful posture that needed a lot of conscious undoing.
Exactly.
Once I got conscious of it, at least.
Well, so I have one more question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
I could pick. So so podcasts are considered new media, right? Your stuff is online in so many different social media networks, and it's people can see you on YouTube and follow you on Twitter, etc. For previous interviews that you've done, right, with traditional media and new media, do you think that your fans understand who you are and what your music is about more? And if so, what kinds of media do you prefer for people to learn about you in? Traditional media, maybe like print or television interviews, stuff like that. New media, like podcasts.
I'd say that it's hard to say. I know that they most likely will learn about me via new media. And
your band is relatively
it's a little
new.
bit better than print because, and also this is better than print because even though I've done like print interviews before where the interviewer recorded it and I still ended up getting misquoted in the final thing. And also, as we have learned via texting culture, it's very, very hard to convey inflection and nuance just through text. So some of the things that I've said come off as a little like brusque or curt when in print, where I think spoken it was the joke is a little bit more obvious and whatnot. So I would say new media.
Same. But a lot of people still embrace traditional media as well. It's hard to break habits. So I think
things are hybrid. Where like there'll be like a written interview on a blog, and then it'll have a supplemental like video or something. So
true.
There's something for everybody.
Well, either way, like you deserve all the shine that you get. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for spending some time with me and letting me pick your brain. Folks, JC Brooks, I mean, you've heard it. Like, he's the shit. Like, he's so cool, down to earth and stuff. I want you guys to check out the following links. Okay? This is your homework. Okay, guys? To listen to some good music. jcbrooksband.com. That's the official website for the band. And then they're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/jcbrooksband. On Twitter, it's twitter.com/jcbband. That's the letters J, C, and B as in boy. And band, B-A-N-D.
JCB is in my butt.
Yeah, right? Like, what the hell? Did I just forget how to spell band? Like, what the hell?
No. I was just doing a callback because that was a really funny bit.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of cracking up over that for a while.
But where's that from?
It's from your last episode. No, 2 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, right. Where, like, Terrence was trying to trip me up and be like, where do you find change? I'm like, bitch, I'm not going to say it again. You're trying to
in
set
the
me
White
up.
House for 8 years.
Oh God, we're so silly. And no,
Right
we're
on.
professionals.
Yeah, I stay on ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I can give
you gotta
serious
laugh.
answers to questions, but I kind of tend toward the absurd.
Good. All right. Well, okay. So like, you're also on Instagram, right?
Yes.
And that URL is instagram.com/JCBrooksBand.
Yep.
And then also on YouTube, like you have two channels. You have the JC Brooks Vivo, and then you have JC Brooks and the what is this?
And the Uptown Sound.
Uptown. God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person.
And
I'm like looking at the URL.
Band.
I'm like looking at the URL, right? And it says youtube.com/user/the Uptown Sound. Like, come on, Mickey.
It's so good. So yeah, we have the Uptown Sound, we have JC Brooks Band, and then we have the Uptown Sound Vivo.
Okay. Well, isn't it JC Brooks Vivo? No.
Or there might be one for just the separate JC Brooks thing now too.
Okay.
I haven't seen that yet, but I know that there's one for the Uptown Sound because we have. Google was like, all right, you have famous people in your video. Let's put you up on let's put you up on a thing.
I have no idea how that whole thing works, but yeah, like people can search for JC Brooks on YouTube and we can listen to your stuff. So that's what matters, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. I can't do this in a vacuum. I need people to listen for this to be a two-way street. So, thank you. And anybody out there who listens, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for sure. And so MusicBae, the podcast, is a part of a network, the Gifted Sounds Network. Amazing producers, and they're so supportive. So if you want to hear more podcasts like MusicBae and wacky or even more professional, like you can check out giftedsounds.com. And if you want to learn more about us, you can just Google MusicBae podcast and you can find us. We're also on YouTube and on Facebook. And yeah, we love music and we love nerding out about music. So that's what's up. All right, guys, take care. All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Peace. Yeah.
Peace, y'all. For sure.
This has been a Gifted Sounds production. You can check out MusicBae and more podcasts on giftedsounds.com. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening.